Hi everybody, I'm Greg Fishel. Welcome to a special update on Hurricane Helene. It became a hurricane earlier today and has maximum sustained winds from the latest advisory about 80 miles per hour. There is a little bit of dry air, and you can see this on the satellite imagery, that is wrapping around the center, and that's probably preventing it from exploding at this particular point in time, because everything else is very, very favorable for this thing to take off. But there is absolutely no indication from any of the model guidance that this is going to continue to be the case. And as soon as the dry air entrainment stops, the sky is basically the limit as to what this thing can become. Certainly major hurricane status almost seems like a given. You never want to lock Mother Nature into a corner and say this can't possibly happen or this will definitely happen. But if there was ever a situation where one of these storms was going to get to major status, this is it. And then the question becomes, does it stop at Cat 3 or does it go beyond that? And does it get to Cat 4 or even 5? And remember, there have only been a handful of Cat 5 hurricanes that have ever made landfall along the U.S. coast. So if something like that were to happen, it would be truly historic and obviously very, very impactful. The storm will be accelerating. It's already made its turn to the north, and so it's going to be accelerating north to northeast across the eastern Gulf of Mexico later today, tonight, and tomorrow, and then more than likely come inland, make landfall somewhere around the Big Bend area of Florida. Now, my original plan was to try to get to Perry, a little town not too far east of Tallahassee, tonight, but every single hotel room, at least the ones that that don't have bed bugs in them, are either sold out or prohibitively expensive. And so what I decided to do was to get a room on the west side of Jacksonville, which is going to shorten my trip today. That's the good news. The bad news is that tomorrow morning I still have 2 hours to go, and I'm probably going to be doing that in a driving rain. And so I am going to try to get to sleep as early as I can, and my projected arrival at the hotel in Jacksonville is around 9, and then get horizontal as quickly as I can, and then try to get out of there at maybe 5:30 or 6 in the morning, and then try to get to where I want to set up before anything really bad can happen. From what I'm told, Interstate 10 with past hurricanes has flooded out in spots, and that's the road I would be traveling. So obviously the earlier I can again get to the point that I want to get to, the better off I'm going to be. My son Austin just texted me and said, Dad, most people try to get away from these things as opposed to driving into them. And obviously my son's very smart, and I am not doing this. I think I mentioned this yesterday, where Mike Seidel, been a longtime friend of mine. He worked with the Weather Channel for years, and he's been through a lot of these. So I'm, going to be using him as a mentor and as a guide as to what not to do. I have never experienced anything more than a minimal Cat 1. And obviously, I don't want to get myself into a situation that I am going to regret or can't get out of. So I will be relying heavily on his advice in that regard. And all I can do is promise you that I will do my utmost best to not do anything really stupid. I'm not doing this for the purposes of hyping anything. It's really somewhat selfish on my part, is that when you get older, there are things that you want to experience before you run out of time, and none of us knows how much time we have. And so this is something I'm doing out of curiosity, but trying to do it in a responsible way. And then the other thing is that a lot of you have probably never experienced anything like this, and so this is my opportunity to share that experience with you, so that you can get a feel for what this is like. Mother Nature at her absolute greatest power, with the only possible exception being an EF5 tornado. And the winds may be stronger in an EF5 tornado, but the geographical expanse is not anywhere near as big as it is with a hurricane. So while the strongest tornado is stronger than the strongest hurricane in terms of raw wind values, the impact with a hurricane, especially one like this that's huge, covers a much larger area, and the impacts are far more reaching than they are with an extreme tornado. So my trusty little map app here is saying I have 291 miles to go. I am still not to Interstate 95, but I'm 3 miles away, and once I get there, then I'll be making a beeline south, and I will do another one of these updates when I hit the 200-mile mark and let you know where I am then. And the ETA is 8:24 p.m. On the west side of Jacksonville. That's assuming no stops. I probably will stop and grab some dinner somewhere, so I'm thinking no later than 9 is a reasonable estimate for getting to Jacksonville. And then my goal is to get to sleep as quickly as I can, get up as early as I can, and then get to around Perry or somewhere in that vicinity before things get too bad. So that's it for now. And by the way, as it relates to North Carolina, Gulf Coast landfalling hurricanes generally have much more of an impact in the mountains of North Carolina than they do across the Piedmont and coastal plain and coastal areas. Now, we certainly will get rain, and I would say that if I had to, make a decision or a commitment, I would probably be looking at somewhere in the maybe 2 to 4 inch range across parts of central North Carolina, lesser to the east, more to the west. But I think the double-digit rainfall amounts are going to occur in the mountains and foothills of North Carolina. Of course, some of that will be aided by topography, where the moist air will be forced to ride up over the higher terrain. But I don't see this as being, a double-digit rainfall event in our part of North Carolina. Obviously, we'll continue to watch that, but I don't think that is a likely scenario at this point. So the worst effects of this will probably be in the mountains and the foothills of our state. Okay, that is it for now, folks. You all have a nice rest of your Wednesday afternoon. Again, I'll do another update when I hit the 200-mile to go mark, and another one at 100 mile to go, and another one when I actually get to West Jacksonville later this evening. So you all take care, and we'll talk to you in a little bit. Take care, everybody.